Breakthrough. The theme of breakthrough appears everywhere in our world. In science, when someone finds a breakthrough in technology. In the military, when there is a movement or an advance past the enemy's line. In entertainment, when a project does something that has never been done before, or someone has a breakout role. In society, when there is a sudden shift or forward movement in an issue that was previously oppressed or misunderstood. We see the theme having a breakthrough in all areas of life in the world. I love how we see breakthrough appear in the Bible because it is one of the definers of God. It shows His name, character, and desire to break us out of oppression, to bring us breakthrough into His promises. In some modern Christian circles, this has become another inspirational buzzword, and it is at times. But when the Bible uses the terms about breakthrough, the words are never hypothetical or just inspirational. They are absolute about the nature of God. For example, my favorite place it appears is when David names a place with a name he identifies as God. It is one of the biggest slaps in the face to his rivals, the Philistines, because David hijacks their own God's name and puts our God above him. In 1 Samuel 5:20, we read, "So David went to Perazim and defeated the Philistines there. The Lord did it," David exclaimed. "He burst through my enemies like a raging flood." So he named that place Baal Perazim, which means the Lord who breaks through in the NLT. David is proclaiming this by using the example of how waters during floods break through or burst out, making new streams. The water can't be confined. When water breaks out of its banks, awesome visible power is displayed as the water pushes past everything in its way. David describes the power of God in a similar way. When God is upon a situation, His breakthrough, there is nothing that can stop it. Before His breakthrough happened for David and Israel, the scene in the scripture is called the Valley of Rephaim, meaning the house of the giant. But here is what is awesome. After the breakthrough, it is called Baal Perazim, meaning possessor of breaches or Lord of the breakthrough. One of the most awesome parts of this theme of David naming it was that he used the name of Baal, the god of the Philistines, to define it. He did this as a reminder that this place, the enemy thought he was the strongest, so David called it Baal Perazim, declaring that God broke through the stronghold of the enemy. He named his God above the title of the giants of Baal. This still happens for us today. God breaks through in awesome ways that belittle our enemies and cause the oppression against us to look small in comparison to His strength. Spiritual breakthrough isn't just about breaking off something. It is also about advancing in unprecedented ways. Both of these have always been themes in the Bible and history. We tell stories of how God broke through and transformed the world, shifted countries, and engaged culture through believers like you and me who dared to believe with radical faith. True and lasting breakthrough starts in our identity and heart, the very core of who you are and what you believe. You have to know God as the one who wants your breakthrough from hardship and breakthrough into promise more than you do. It is part of His revealed biblical role as a father to bring breakthrough to you. And the more you get to know Him, the more you expect that the processes of building relationship with Him brings about great breakthroughs in your family, opportunities, and goals. But it all comes down to the core process of building connection with Him. As I show you here, breakthrough isn't just a catchphrase, but one of God's very names in the Bible. God wants to reveal Himself as your Lord who breaks through. Just like Micah prophesied to the Israelites in Micah 2:13, he says, "One who breaks open the way will go up before them. They will break through the gate, they will go out. Their king shall pass through before them, the Lord at their head." In verse 13, breaker appears to be the title of an individual who will rescue the Israelites, the breaker, the one who goes ahead, breaks down obstacles, and leads the way. In Hebrew, it is the phrase Peretz. This is the only time in the Bible that the phrase Baal Perazim appears to be a title of an individual. It is speaking about the Messiah for the Israelites, and is still one of the ways he wants to relate with him today. Knowing God as the one who goes ahead of you for your breakthrough, leading you, is one of the most comforting ways to know God. It will also give you courage to blaze trails in areas of life not many people would risk or dare to go in, because they don't have the relationship through their faith like you do to trust that they will arrive at the destination. When we begin to pray to God in our own lives and apply the Bible to our circumstances, we start to see the effects of our God, our breaker, not just helping us, but also creating his original plan in our lives and not letting anything interfere with it. Making declarations, prayers, and prophetic statements or words about breakthrough has been done throughout history, but no one did this better than King David. Psalm 18 is a perfect picture of David pouring his heart out unto God. He shares about how God protected him, how God broke through for him where he was oppressed, and how God delivered him into his promise. He also declares the nature of God and defines breakthrough, the promise of God, and how that promise was fulfilled. When we read this verse, it can help you to see why I am attempting to do this in a modern way through this sermon, to give you tools to partner in your inner cry and faith. We see David pouring out his heart in prayer, declaring who God is, sharing the prophetic belief system that carried him through the hardships, and sharing the breakthrough into his appointment as king. It's such a radical picture of viewing the God who breaks through. And as you read through these prayers, and as you go with me through these declarations, you will find yourselves writing out your own story after using these tools in your life. Now, let us talk about a moment of transition. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 43:19. For I know the thoughts I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Jeremiah 29:11. Don't worry about anything, but in all your prayers, ask God for what you need, always asking him with a thankful heart. And God's peace, which is far beyond human understanding, will keep your heart and mind safe in union with Christ. In conclusion, my friends, fill your mind with those things that are good and that deserve praise, things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Philippians 4:6-8. One of the keys for breakthrough in your life is the ability to allow change in both your internal and external life. Humans are famous for resisting or even hating change. But as a new creation, God is giving you the ability to live out of your spirit, which longs for transformation, even when it means more transition or change is coming. God has a never-ending supply of adaptive energy for you. Now here is a word about breakthrough. I have made a promise that I will not just author my plan in your life, but will also transform you to become the person you were made to be, inside and out. I will always finish what I start. Transition comes when I invite you into something new that may not have been something you would have chosen for yourself. My process in your development and to transform the world through you will require a different process than you could possibly accomplish on your own strengths, abilities, or talents. Whereas others who want to have a similar result can just do a normal human process, get an education, and pursue a career, I am making you different from the norm. Your life will break open doors that have never been opened before. You will love in ways that are uncommon in what I have called you. Your process will be one that will position you in ways that will cause people to ask, how did you get here? And how did you accomplish this? I am refining you through my refining fire, but you will come out on the other end looking at the beauty and authority you possess through this process and be grateful. You will learn that transition equals promotion. I am inviting you to lay down what you would choose at times so you can have this different result. I will sometimes ask you to make a choice that is not your first choice. But as you trust me and sacrifice for me, as you deny yourself and pick up your cross and follow me, you will feel like the most connected version of yourself to this life I have ever given you. Transition can be painful, but trust me as I form you. Help others who are going through transition you see I have initiated. Speak words of comfort and embolden them. Transition will morph you into something you could have never hoped for or imagined in your wildest dreams. Now, I want you to go through this prayer with me. God, help me not just to endure transition, but to consider it an honor because I know the result it produces. Help me to consider the privilege when you ask me to make a move, a transition, a change in my life, even when it creates strain, adaptive energy loss, or natural tensions in me. Give me the endurance to persevere. Give me persevering faith. Thank you that when transition starts, I get to go deeper in a place of knowing you from glory to glory. Help me to see you in the midst of all the change. Give me faith for what I'll be moving into, as I sometimes have to give up so much while I am moving out of something to attain it. Thank you that the part of you being God who breaks through is that my transition is for something huge. You have my best interest at heart. You will use this transition to position me, align my life, create deeper perseverance and character in me, and reveal even more of your love to me. Thank you that understanding you in the midst of transition will help me to love those around me more. God, as you bring this transition into my life, help me to hold on to everything that can go with me into the new season. Also, help me to let go of anything that is not for me in this new time. Help me to be the one who is willing to change, that I become the one who can help change and reform systems, structures, and lives of those around me with grace. Jesus carried here on earth. Here's the declaration. As you bring transition into my life, I am believing you for adaptive energy like I have never had before, flexibility in my emotions, perspective, and physical and emotional being, strength to say yes even when it is hard, perspective on my season and times in life that helps me to keep my sight on the prize of life instead of the process of change, grace in all my relationships as my life changes or as I change, connection to those who are not necessarily changing with me, and a willing heart to change. Hey guys, we have recently launched our channel memberships. Just click on the join button to subscribe so that you can get additional perks. There are 4 tiers of partnering with me, and this is a really meaningful way that you can support this channel. It will allow us to buy more equipment, it will allow us to get better editing and so forth. So please join our channel memberships to support our channel and also get access to more perks. We are launching a school of ministry just for our channel members, and there are going to be exclusive perks for our channel members. But if you decide not to become a member, do not worry. We're going to be pumping out more content more than ever before, and we can't wait to see you on the flip side. Shalom.